In Math 103, we teach both polynomial long division and synthetic division. It's important that you know both of these procedures. Sometimes in calculus, you're going to have a professor who prefers polynomial long division. Sometimes you'll have a professor who prefers synthetic division. They both have their benefits. Long division always works. You don't have to have only a binomial. So that's one of the reasons why professors like long division. We also like long division because it's easy to see if you've forgotten the descending power of x. We use polynomial long division whenever we're dividing a polynomial by a polynomial. That means that the divisor is not a monomial. But we need to be careful. We need all descending powers of x. Let's just remind you that the second part of this division question is known as the divisor. It would be at the bottom of your fraction. And this part is known as the dividend. It would be at the top of your fraction. Now, polynomial long division, which I hope you learned in Math 99 and still remember, is a long process. So like I often do, I've given you some steps to practice. If you've forgotten, if you haven't practiced for a while, make sure you memorize, relearn these steps. They're going to be important. So the first step is that all descending powers of x are required. Descending means the powers are going down. And if you look at our example here, our powers of x are 3, 1, and 0. You have to go till 0. Maybe make a note. That has to be from your highest power of x all the way down to x to the power of 0. And you can see in this question that we're missing x squared. We're going to use 0 as our placeholder. We're going to say that we have 0x squared. So we can write this out, 2x cubed minus 10, oops, I forgot my 0x squareds, plus or minus x squared, doesn't matter, it's a 0, minus 10x plus 15. We're going to put that inside our division box, and the divisor is going to go outside the division box. So our x minus 2 is going to go outside. Step 3, we're going to divide the first terms. In this case, the first terms, 2x cubed divided by x. If it helps you to write that separately, go ahead and do so. We can see that equals 2x squared, and we're going to put our quotient on top of 2x cubed. The next step is to multiply. We're going to multiply the quotient that we just put on top by the divisor. We're going to use the distributive property to do that. That means that 2x squared is going to multiply x and minus 2, giving us 2x cubed minus 4x squared. Notice that we're matching up our powers of x. This is important because in the next step, we're asked to subtract like terms. Remember that like terms have the same variables raised to the same power. So we're subtracting all of this. I hope you remember that vertical subtraction from Math 99. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. It should always be 0 here. If it's not, you've made a mistake. Now we have 0x squared subtract negative 4x squared. That's the same as 0x squared plus 4x squared. Be careful when you're subtracting. Now we want to bring down the next term. Our next term is minus 10x. If there is no next term, you know you're finished. But if you do bring down a next term, you have to go back up to the fourth step. And oops, not to the fourth step. You have to go back up to the third step and divide. We're dividing first terms again. So this time, we're dividing 4x squared by x. So if you want to write that down separately again, you can do so. We see that that equals 4x, and we're going to put that quotient on top. After we divide, we multiply the quotient on top by both terms in the divisor. So we have 4x squared minus 8x. The next step is to subtract. Remember, we're subtracting all of this. 4x squared minus 4x squared is, of course, 0. And negative 10x subtract negative 8x is negative 2x. And then we bring down the next term. Because we were able to bring down the next term, we have to go back up to step 3, divide. We're dividing the first terms, negative 2x divided by x. That equals negative 2. Now we multiply negative 2 by each of these terms. Negative 2x plus 4. The next step is to subtract. Negative 2x, subtract negative 2x is 0. 15 minus 4 is 11. There are no other terms to bring down, so that means we're finished our division. It also means that this number that we're left with here is the remainder. On top, we have the quotient. Now, sometimes the remainder is included in the quotient, and that's important to remember. So we see here that our division question is equal to 2x squared. Oh, I don't want to write that in red. Our quotient, 2x squared plus 4x minus 2, plus our remainder over the divisor. Our solution can always be written as the quotient plus the remainder over the divisor. I think we'll save the practice for the next video.